Hey everyone, this is Luke Sloterdijk, and this is Cyclones Abroad, your weekly update on timely and valuable information to underclassmen students about studying abroad at Iowa State University. This is week 6 of the series, and if you're interested in learning more about the various aspects of studying abroad, feel free to check out weeks 1 through 5 prior to watching this video. But if you want to just dive right in with me today, you're welcome to do that too. But just as a quick recap, last week we actually talked a lot about how to get the most out of your study abroad experience with a discussion on cultural competency, dealing with homesickness, and other things kind of in that realm. But today we're actually going to dive in and talk more about what it looks like to reflect during and after an internship experience, a study abroad internship experience, and how to learn from the challenges that you face and the things that you run into when studying abroad in a different country. The first thing that we'll talk about is just like how to reflect. And I'm the first one to say that coming into Iowa State, I was not a believer in reflection. I thought it was a waste of time. I thought that people just did it because it was a homework assignment that they were just assigned by their professor. Didn't think very much of it. But after the last few years, I've realized just the sheer importance of reflecting and actually taking time to think about the experiences that you've had and to come up with conclusions and outcomes and to see growth occur throughout your experience. And so, how to reflect. There are various ways to reflect. The most traditional or probably best known way is obviously just writing. So like taking a daily log of activities completed, challenges faced, things overcome and triumphed in, relationships built, accomplishments, all those sorts of things are easy ways to write things down. But the actual reflection process is when you actually start mulling over and chewing on those experiences and things that you learned from them. So looking at a challenge and saying, this is really tough, but these are the soft skills that I learned from dealing with this tough coworker to be around, or this situation that seemed like I would never get it done, but I ended up getting it done because of these reasons. And a benefit of writing these things down and having kind of like a log of these things is that when you're looking at interview opportunities in the future and you get that question that nobody likes of what's a trial that you faced in the past and how did you overcome it, or what's your greatest failure, or any sort of interview question like that, you have all of these different experiences that a lot of students wouldn't be able to just draw from in an international context that would really set you apart in an interview. And more importantly than an interview, you just grow as a person. You grow as a professional in those skills, soft and technical skills. So reflecting in writing is very important, but also having just a reflective mindset. A true sign of a mature professional is somebody who's able to just process in their head the experiences that they've had and actually learn from them. Because that's the point of the study abroad experience, right? On top of getting to have fun, to dive into new cultures, and to gain skills and all that sort of stuff, it really is about maturing as a professional and learning how to learn from those experiences. And so reflecting is actually the number one way to be able to do that. So I have to challenge myself every single day to reflect and to take time, because life moves so fast that we need to actually take a step back and reflect on the things that we've learned so far at Iowa State. Like, that's the purpose of getting a degree and spending money and time and energy to do all these things. It's not just for the piece of paper, it's actually for the process that occurs within ourselves as we continue to grow. The next thing I would say that is very important to grow and to reflect on within your study abroad experiences, have at least 3, maybe 4 performance reviews throughout the duration of your study abroad experience. Depending on the length, do it every 2 or 3 weeks, or try and split it up to 3 or 4 times throughout that experience with your supervisor or your direct mentor, so that they can actually give you direct feedback on how you're doing, what you're doing well, what you could improve on, and everything in between, so that at the end of the term or the duration of your internship, you're not caught off guard when they're like, hey, like, you really didn't get these things done and you have no way to fix that now because you're hopping on a plane the next day to go back home. On top of that, you actually get to learn how to respond to critiques well. And that's another trait of a maturing professional, is being able to receive correction in a way where you're mature about it and you actually get excited about improving rather than shutting down or whining or complaining. Especially for us, for how young we are now, like if we're able to do that, that's another mark that's really going to set us apart and probably help us to pursue our careers in even quicker manners in the future if we're able to learn how to do this skill well now. And if you request the performance review, if it's not a part of the normal skeleton of that internship, that shows a lot about your desire, your effort, and your energy to learn and to grow. So highly recommend that. If you want on your first day or your first week to really impress your supervisor or mentor, ask for a performance review and be like, hey, can we sit down on Friday for about 20 minutes and I just want to hear how I've done so far and what I can do to improve my experience, but also how I can improve my impact to your organization. And they will love that, believe me. Final thing, reflecting during an internship versus reflecting after the event, after the summer or after the semester abroad. So reflecting during is kind of all the things that I've been talking about, of asking for performance reviews and writing, having daily logs, and then having like times where you just go on walks and think in your head about how you've grown and what you need to do better. But reflecting after is also extremely important because you actually have a different perspective. Rather than being caught up in the middle of whatever that experience is, you actually have the whole length of the term to look back on and be like, man, I remember this first week I was experiencing this, but in week 6, actually this came into fruition and I grew in this way or that way. And so both are extremely important and both are extremely valuable to add to your resume or to add to a cover letter or a final paper or a presentation that you might be giving at the end of that experience. So the reflecting itself looks very similar within the framework that you use of writing or thinking or speaking with somebody, but the actual things that are coming to your mind will be very different and similar at the same time, just due to the nature of whether you're in the moment or have that full perspective. So I would highly recommend to do both. And it sounds like just extra homework that you're giving yourself, but believe me, you will forget a lot of things very quickly if you don't write them down or reflect on them heavily. And that's a lot of missed opportunities to grow as a professional. So this was week 6 of Cyclones Abroad. I'm your host, Luke Sloterdijk. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out the other weeks 1 through 5, and we'll have 2 more videos coming up. So we're going to do an 8-week video series. So thank you for listening. I'm excited to see what your comments and feedback are. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.